Welcome back to All In Driving. Today I want to talk about things I like, things I don't like about the car. I apologize for the noise in the background. We're on vacation. But the first thing I want to say that I like, that you've seen before, is just the lines on the car. I think it's gorgeous. The previous generation was very nice, but this is so cleaned up. I love this front grille. That's why I chose this over the BRZ specifically. This Trueno edition, as you can tell, has the black on the hood and on the sides. There's also some Trueno badging around the front and the rear. The other things that you'll notice that are different from the other trims are we've got the Brembos all the way around, sack stampers inside. At first, I wasn't sure if I'd like the lines, the extra, but I think it really looks good on the red. That being said, something with, I don't know if it's an all new car thing, but I washed this car yesterday morning and I'm on a road trip, so things happen. But we've got quite a bit of dust already. I've tried a couple things after I washed the car to mitigate that, and it worked. This time I didn't have that time. A couple things that I'm not sure whether I like or not. The car is not easy to get in and out of. It's not hard. If you have an open space like this, it's pretty easy just to step in and get in the car, no problem. The real problem comes when you're in a parking spot where you don't have much space, like here, or if there's cars next to you, you really have to work to get out. You can see that's about the gap I have. You know, it's a coupe issue. It's not a this car issue. But if I were in a space, if I were in a regular space, I wouldn't have much of a gap here. So that's one of my biggest issues. Moving into the car, back seats are small, so most of the time I just keep my helmet buckled up. It's a great spot for my helmet, but otherwise there's not much room for anything else in these seats. Finally, inside of things I don't like for now while the car is parked, this back window, like I said, has great visibility, but it is impossible to clean the inside all the way around. Once you get down here at the bottom of the window, there's like no gap there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's impossible to clean. So with no back seats, we got to find a place to put stuff. Fortunately, the trunk is a decent size, and I'm going to show you right now. I haven't had to utilize the trunk for a lot, except for groceries in the past, but since we're on a road trip, why don't I show you how things fit. It's a squeeze, but we're all set for a road trip. Since I went into a little bit of the exterior styling, which I missed the duckbill because I wanted to show you the dust on it, but forgot to mention the black duckbill and the black handles and mirrors. But on the interior, we've got the red insets, and then red stitching and red on the seats, stitching on the steering wheel. That's another reason why I like this red Panda better than the white one. Is I think it would still look good on white, but then with the red on the interior, but everything fits. This car feels like, you know, I mean, the Brembos are red, everything is red or black. Before I get to the thing I like the least The thing I hate the most, the thing that frustrates me every time I get in the car. I want to say thank you for watching up to this point. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe. I want to talk about a couple other things in regards to that. Actually, is I really like the community around the GR86, GT86, FRS, BRZ. I've had people come up to me and ask me about the Trueno edition. I've had, every time somebody goes by, a little shaka or a peace sign. It's cool to feel part of a community, especially after COVID and isolation and everything like that. The other thing I would say is I have never had a new car before. Everything has been used and old. And so even after 4,000 miles, I have not eaten in this car yet. I mean, I've spent a good time behind the wheel, but every time I get in, I just catch a new car smell. It's not specific to this car, but it's definitely awesome. So let's get into it. The thing I hate the most about this car, there's actually two things, and they tie together fairly well. The first one is one that I mentioned in the last video. There's no place to put your phone that works.
Do you have a GR86 or BRZ, but also a phone? Do you have nightmares about falling into the cracks, never to be seen again? You are not alone. Subscribe to All In Driving, where we feel your pain.
Right now, I've got my phone case here. That's not bad. It doesn't move around a lot in there. Obviously, it depends on your phone size. I've tried the cup holder before, and that's no good. Sometimes you're not going to be able to see this, but sometimes I put it in front of the shifter. It'll sit there nicely, and it's accessible, but it covers up all the AC and the toggle buttons down here, which is frustrating. You can kind of set it up here somewhere and hope that it doesn't fall. But what I typically do is either throw it on the passenger seat if nobody's with me, or if somebody is with me, I'll throw it in here. The reason I throw it in here and not over here leads me to my second part of this. The car has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but it's wired. So everything's wired to the center. Plug in. As soon as you plug it in, then where are you going to put it? You can't put it here across yourself. You can't put it down there. Even here gets in the way. So it's relegated to being there, which, I mean, ideally and essentially, that's what you probably should be doing. Put a playlist on or whatever, throw it in there, and then you've got access. I did also pick up an AI box light, which is a wireless adapter. I think if there were a better spot somewhere else in the car to put the phone, I would use that more. There is a little bit of a delay if you've got like a video or podcast on in the background. There's a little bit of a delay in the audio and the video if you happen to like glance over or whatever. But I really wish, I mean, it's 2024. I really wish they just had wireless CarPlay in the car. But especially another spot to put your phone. Everybody talks about it because it's a real thing. One of the biggest problems I have with this car is just being stuck in traffic like I'm in right now. It's not this car's fault, but it comes from being a manual. It's really a pain in the ass. I live in the Seattle area, and there's traffic constantly. Every day is kind of a slog. And so, running through gears is great when you're out on the track or whatever, having a good time. But, when you're stuck in traffic, it's just one extra headache. And then the other part of it is when you're in traffic that's a little bit heavier and you're moving a little quicker, being a brand new car is a problem, right? So just the fact that I'm worried about rocks coming up into the car, screwing up the paint. I've got right now a semi ahead of me, and we're going through some construction, and I'm worried that as we come out of that construction, his mud flaps aren't going to do the job. So, you know, there's not much option. If you leave enough gap to not have your windshield or your hood hit by something, somebody comes in and cuts you off. So that one again is not really part of the car itself, but definitely something that is a problem. And this being a shorter, smaller car is also kind of, you don't get seen all the time. That being said, with people not being able to see me as well, I'm actually really surprised with the visibility that I have in this car. There's not a lot of areas that I can't see, between the windows actually being pretty good size and the mirrors and everything. I feel even with like the camera here, the camera there, I've been in a few hatchbacks before where that back window, for some reason, you just can't see anything. But this one is at least wide enough that you've got a pretty good view. So there are a few things about this car that I'm not sure whether I like or not. The first one is the Boxer engine. It just sounds a little different from any other 4-cylinder that I'm used to, but I think I'm starting to like it. On the flip side of that, as I mentioned in my last video, the augmented engine noise that comes into the cabin, I don't know yet if I like that or not. I'm going to, in one of the upcoming videos, go ahead and take that panel off and see what it looks like. But for now, I'm just living with whatever they've got for me. One of the things I mentioned in my last video that I like about the car is just the sheer joy and experience of driving it. I mean, just the things I mentioned already, the handling is really tight, and it's so awesome. I don't know. One of those things that you really can't put into words and explain. I feel really good in this car. The seat fits me well. I feel like I'm tucked in, not like a bucket seat, but still for, you know, a stock seat, I feel really tucked in. I feel like I am connected to the car and it's responsive. So that's definitely near the top of my list of things I do like. So I want to show you guys one more thing that I'm not sure if it's good or annoying, if I like it or not, and that's the blinker. So with this car, the blinker has basically two settings. The first is just a short grow setting. It blinks 3 times, and that's it, which is nice if you're changing lanes at slower speeds. And then there's the full-on blinker that will shut off once you turn a corner. So my thought is that full blinker is great, normal, whatever, something we've had forever in these cars. The other one is, I think what it needs, once you hit 40, 50, I don't know the number, but certain miles an hour, instead of 3 blinks, it goes 5. One of the things I think is really cool about this car is the adaptive headlights. Turn, the further you turn, further they go. You can kind of see that black, the darker spot, how it moves based on where I'm turning. So for the Pocket, one thing that sucks is required to buy premium. Just to get into California, it's $5 a gallon almost. But it is what it is, I guess. So that's my top things I like and don't like about this car. Let me know what things you don't like, or if you'd like me to go a little more into some of these things if you're thinking about buying one. I will say, overall, I would not choose anything else over this for what it is. Obviously, if I needed to pack a family in the back, I would not choose this car. Thank you for sticking around to the end. I really appreciate you guys watching. Again, if you can hit like and subscribe, that would be amazing. Until next time, take care of yourself.